communication.
I'll believe every word he'll say, except for when he tells me he's okay because his energy doesn't match his words, his actions don't equal his verbs. I know he said he's fine, but that's not what I heard. So I'll tell him that his body language screams louder than the English leaving his mouth. Like he can't articulate how he got a organ behind his ribs caged and trying to get out, beaten so loud. Eardrums ringing, needing to shout, wanting an out, but refusing to bow out, even gracefully. So instead, he'll say a silent prayer, hoping that putting together his hands will emit enough sound to fill the air with peace, or at least put his mind at ease, even if just momentarily. Yet in this moment, media like momentum carries us into uncomfortable stillness. Conversations once simple turn dental extractions as I pull against his willingness to speak. So warily we exchange glances back and forth, full of expression yet void of words until I ask him how he's feeling. I know he said he's chilling, but that's not what I heard. I heard that he ain't cool and that what's brewing beneath his surface will eventually start to pool. It'll overflow, spilling out as anger, slow lava disguised as poise, void of danger. He won't vent. No, he'll erupt into a volcano. I'll engage him, attempt to gauge his temp, yet feel like I'm contending with the broken thermometer. I'll monitor all of his movements while he's in this dark space. But on this night, vision ain't enough to help him navigate self-grace. So I'll say it's okay to feel that this is a safe space to heal. And I know he said, I love you, but that's not what I heard. It sounded more like, I'm sorry for feeling, as if he was taught that silence is the safest way of dealing with literally everything he feels. But what if he just want to break it without feeling like he's breaking? Sometimes he just need a breaking off and don't care what kind. Whether a breakdown or breakthrough, he's just trying to pump the brakes in his mind, but pedal to the metal is all he could seem to find, because the grind be all he know, while friction between his thoughts and his feelings got him talking so slow. Motion. I guess he built this damn flood wall to protect him from this exact wave of emotions, but I'm starting to get this notion that he's scared of water. Wow. That he's afraid of what happens if the levees break and the floods release. What if these walls come crumbling down and the real him is all that's left standing for me to see? What if I don't like who I meet? Or what if he feels like the water works against him? Like his tears will wash away his manhood in my eyes. Or like he barely be afloat most times. Like he might as well be a boy buoying. Because I won't see him a manly man if I ever see him cry. All thoughts he can't wipe away from his mind. So on tonight, I know he said he's fine. But that's not what I heard. Because he responded to every inquiry with just one word, then went back to being quiet. But I'm aware that the emotion lies right here within this silence. I'll surmise that that's what subdues the violence. But he'll still beat himself up internally, going to war with a familiar opponent who he has yet to defeat, squaring up with his shadow to circumvent the intensity, all while being weighed down and spinning so silently, refusing to unearth faults that can't be unseen, fearing vulnerability will dismantle the masculinity at the core of his being. So when I ask him how he's feeling, when the only words that seem to surface are, I'm chilling, but that's not what I heard, I'll still listen. I'll hang on to every word he'll never say and just hope that he feels safe next time I ask if he's okay.
Round one, bad at communication.
Yo, this random man popped up on my Instagram talking about this date he had when this girl said straight to his face, do you believe in 50-50? And he said, can you explain what you mean? And she said, nigga, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And before he could think of what to say, she got up and walked away. And oftentimes I wonder how certain things could have went if people weren't so bad at communication. But everyone's always throwing that word around, communication. You ever listen to a person talk until they just snitch on themselves? You ever realize a lot of people feel entitled to the kind of person they're not even willing to become? Problem is, communication has been TikTokified. People think they have emotional literacy because they can weaponize therapy speech, just saying things, throwing around terms like avoidant attachment, gaslighting, and boundaries, and don't even know what the hell it means. Just parakeeting memes they see scrolling the screen. Communication requires emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence requires experiences that enhance your intellect to make your emotions even relevant. Otherwise, your lack of evidence makes you sound irrelevant, calling people narcissists, and you can't even spell that shit. Everyone wants someone who is emotionally intelligent until they have them. They love when you know enough to comfort them, but not when you know enough to see straight through them. You don't want a good communicator. You want a lover with no discernment. People out here who want all your attention and haven't earned it. Good communicators don't bend, but to you that translates to feeling disrespected. Whole time it's a person with self-respect and you just lack perspective. Your whole life, you've only respected people who lead you in the wrong direction. Now communication don't feel how your silly ass expected. Someone unwilling to play the game you've trained to play looks strange. And now safety looks suspicious. Now grounded means conflicted. How you gonna trust me when you don't even trust peace? Ain't it funny how people always want to wait too late to communicate? Like when your mind is already made up. Like them shorties on the runway shows with their face caked up, my mind is that made up. People be so bad at communicating, they'd rather be hyper independent than engage in an argument they might not end up winning. It's no wonder why we can't have hard conversations, because we all got hard bodies who don't need nobody. It's no wonder why relationships don't mean shit. We don't be loving on somebody, we just be loving on somebody. It's no wonder why all our stories sound incomplete. All we remember is how it started and how it ended, but it ain't got no body. I used to need a woman next to me just so I could sleep, and now we don't speak, so she's just a number that I count as my body. The craziest thing about being human is how we all dealing with the same shit, but ain't nobody saying shit. I done seen the poetry community go from a village full of bros to a bunch of whining hoes, cause everywhere you go, you talking bullshit on the low. I done seen work environments go from grinding with your peers to beefing over emails going back and forth for years, snorting corporate lingo like a drug when all you had to do was give each other hugs, shake each other's hand, and agree to shut the fuck up. I done seen whole relationships where a lack of communication invites so much space between the partnership that gravity itself no longer claims its part in this. Both doomed to drift with a piece of each other they both need to live, called an apology that they both refuse to give. Nobody on TikTok is going to admit that they're scared of being viewed as something that needs to be fixed. People are bad at communicating because they'd rather be angry than accountable, rather be alone than disguising their imperfections as a poem. Instead of voicing that they're overwhelmed and shit, they'll give you silence and hope you get the message. I do that often myself, hoping you understand. I'll get back to you when I get back to myself.
Round two is treat them like dirt and they'll stick to you like mud.
This piece is called Sleeveless. All right.
I'm scared.
A poet had a conversation with a war vet, and he asked him, "Do you want to know how I got these scars? I knowingly enlisted in a war I tried to be triumphant in, but it was a losing battle filled with countless missteps of mine. It blew me away. How no matter my pace or how much grace I gave, they still held me down. Took advantage of my heart until there was nothing left, and left battered and maimed. I fought through the pain until it brought me to my knees. When left without choice, I ripped off my sleeves to tourniquet my trauma, to keep from bleeding on anyone else, cause how I proved my love was by saving everyone else until I looked down and I saw loyalty seeping through the fabric. So I dipped my finger in it and I used it to pledge my allegiance to being a bigger person, a bigger poet, a better soldier, one who couldn't seem to unstick himself from muddy memories made more memorable by his PTSD, by his recurring dreams. I stuck to them. Like boots marching in the rain, they treated me like dirt. Still, I forgave them time and time again, and now I'm here, pouring out my pain in front of a stranger, hoping it will wash these wounds away or at least put out this burning desire to exchange my pride for loyalty. Though it's never been given back to me, they treated me like dirt, yet I still stuck to them like the war paint beneath the eyes of a warrior, a soldier, who is up in arms because his own purple heart won't let him stop loving those who hurt him in war. There are enemies and there are casualties, And while I can't speak on the former, I can tell you how war molded me. It left me with conviction and confusion and questions like, well, what do you call a casualty before they suffer? Family, I don't get it. They say blood is thicker than water, but why my blood got me choking back tears, got me biting my tongue and swallowing these words just to stay alive, to survive. That's why I stay on the stage, because it's the only way to make sure that I don't snap. Do you want to know how I got these scars? It's because the poet and the soldier are one and the same, both been wounded by those they love in this very fickle game of love and war. Because it's just something about the way people smile in your face that makes it hard to tell when they're lying through their teeth. When they say things like, well, you can count on me, I counted defeat. Because though I escaped the war, I am not unscathed. These scars, proof that they hurt me and completely changed the way I view love. So never again will I allow anyone to view my love, I told it away. Peeking at it every so often to remind myself of the heart I proudly once displayed as my uniform. And now I'm just a soldier. Now I'm just a poet, forming these lines forever hoping that someone will come along and help me feel worthy of wearing my sleeves again.
Round two is treat them like dirt and they'll stick to you like mud.
I have a question. As a man, why is it so taboo to address the fact that women can be players too? There's a brand of woman that exists that cannot function outside of a toxic relationship. Y'all know how many times I was loyal to a Joan in the talking stage when there were several other people in the walking stage? They be having 3 spam accounts you don't know about, 7 internet boyfriends, 2 male besties, one of them gets benefits and the other she just like to argue with, 3 exes she in love with, 2 of them still hit, 1 woman she experimented with, and you just a nigga that she testing it with. Got me thinking it's okay to just get money and be celibate. And for some reason, the general consensus is that all men ain't shit. Well, I have another question. Is it a better chance that all men ain't shit, or is it a better chance you don't know how to pick? Let's go deeper. If the men you pick really ain't shit, then you must value the entertainment of a situationship and the stories you get out of it more than you actually want to get out of it. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, just like to get dogged. They treat you like dirt, but you stick to them like mud and got the nerve to call it love. Well, I have another question. When you don't got no drama to contribute on your girls' nights, how long before you start to miss out on the invites? Before they start to treat you weird out of spite, make you resent a man that treats you white, and revert to a lesser version that they like. You see, a lot of your homegirls like it when your love stories go up in flames. So when you bring them the ash of your homegirl, when you bring them the ash of your relationship, your homegirls will call this a house warming. When a toxic man sets your heart on fire and you call your girls, he a bum, he a cheater, he a liar, they take that heat from the words you speak and sip it slow and call that tea. And she'll tell you a story as long as her lashes about how she's a hopeless romantic, but in reality, she's just dating too many jokers and addicts. You keep buying the bullshit, but it's just you at the self-checkout. Mad that he did you wrong, but not mad that you can't shop right. So you can change your outfits. Look, y'all booked me. I was chilling. Anyway, groceries. So listen, you can change your outfits. You can change the location. You can chop off all your hair. Baby, you can choose the bear. I just hope the next time you grow your hair out, you grow as a person too. Look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. You mistook eye candy for soul food and spent years trying to convert a stomach ache to a soulmate. And now, I'm being timed, y'all. You mistook eye candy for soul food and spent years trying to convert a stomach ache to a soulmate, and your silly ass is mad it ain't work. Now you in church trying to believe in something other than hurt. The dead and honest truth is that the reason you self-sabotage is because knowing how something will end is the sense of control you've always wanted. Your body misses the person, your soul misses the routine, your brain misses the dopamine, and your heart can't tell the difference. This is not a poem to make men sound innocent. A lot of y'all are really just victims of a system we invented. I have a lot to say about us men and our nonsense, but that's a poem for another day. The intention is to show you what a girl can turn into when she is neglected instead of protected. I wish I could slide a note into every woman's purse and remind her that she is every blessing on this earth. But some of y'all have endured so much hurt, you start to think it's all you're worth. And ladies, I love y'all. And I want to heal all of y'all, but there ain't enough Tylenol. This poem is not an attack, but it is a warning. A lot of the men that you choose are an extension of your self-harming. We can tell how much you love yourself by judging the pattern of people you align yourself. And I can't even say my ex-girlfriend's name because she got too much fame. She on Kai Cenat live stream, Drake music videos, Lil Uzi's, Trey songs, all of them. When I met her, she had Gucci, Louis, diamond-studded gold chains, Rolex, Cadillacs, all that. And every day she told me how she hated all that and wishes she could give it all back. She had everything women wanted. Hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of likes, bags and clothes and flights. She had niggas buying her everything she was told she was supposed to like. She told me everything she has came with a steep price and she ain't ever felt loved in her whole life. The saddest part about our breakup is that we didn't split because we didn't love each other. I treated her like a person and she couldn't convince herself that she was worth it. She was the sweetest girl that couldn't find herself, and nobody tells men what to do when the thing your woman needs saving from is herself. A couple months after our breakup, she called me. I know why we didn't last. Why? I asked. Well, you refused to treat me bad, and I'm just not used to that.
Round 3, the apex round.
I write because I no longer go to church. And so a round of applause at the end of my poem be the closest I can get to somebody praying for me. I write. Because standing on these stages be the only time I'm praised for being vulnerable. I write. Because these days this be my only saving grace. I write. Because this pen keeps me under control. I write. Because I don't want to be controlled. But with each click, I quickly shift into sane. Soon as ink touches page, pain feels somewhat contained, or at least remotely. I write. Because poetry be the only proof of what happened, only evidence that it was tragic or traumatic, so I write to bear witness to things I can't prove even happened. I write so that my story knows no dead end, because poetry be the only place that isn't going to send my truth to the graveyard, won't make mummies of my memories, but scarabs of my scars, rendering them beautiful anomalies whose essence can be felt even from so far away. I write. Ain't nobody coming to save me. So I script myself superhero. Even when I feel more super villain, I'm still super on both days. Just some days I fight the healing. I write to fight the healing. I write for the healing. I write for the healed me. And for all the people who feel me, who will one day speak my name, like legend, like legacy, like Lexx Unapologetically was here. I write so that y'all get me. I write so y'all don't forget me. I write and I write and I write till there's nothing left in me. No ink, no blood, no shame, just rage, just change, just names of all the lives this pen has saved. I write so you can write too. And even on my last page, I'll write to be continued.
Round 3, the apex round.
He can see you in the dark because he's been where you are. His personal battles with heavy moods made his empathy stand out. In any room, he's a poet, which is to say God's favorite open wound. He craves depth and conversation. His favorite kind of person is one adept at profound contemplation. I mean, he'd prefer death over kiddie pool communication, and his biggest fear is drowning in the shallow end of his surrounding population. People always want him to say something deep, but they never ask if he's drowning. He's a walking contradiction. I mean, he's a writer, so he walks in contradiction. People marvel at his poetry because it's the only thing he's ever felt fantastic for. But low-key, every great artist is insane. He has a manner like Bruce Banner, but he maintains his rage atop the stage. And when the psychiatrist asks what part he played when placing the blame, he sort of just looks at the Doctor Strange. He has a heart. He has a heart as big as a planet, but when you have a lot to give and poor boundaries, the things people tend to take is advantage. So he keeps people at bay like he has some sort of force field in order to not feel forced to feel, but he loves a woman that can get him thinking. He knows that men want to be balls deep in her physique, but he wants to be brain deep in her mystique. So all in all, So all in all, he don't want to talk about football. He don't want to hear your ABC rhyme scheme poetry. He don't want your invites to clubs or to do drugs or to party. Nah, this ain't the nigga you're gonna party with. This is a man that's gonna expose trauma you ain't parted with. Getting into his life is arduous. One wrong move and you wanna side where the sun don't shine, and it's gonna be hard to switch. Like an AR when the trigger glitch. He spit poems in whatever direction the bullet points, and when you're marvelous, it's hard to miss, but the problem is this. People love what they hear. People love blissful compliance. His fear is that he makes so much noise with his words that nobody ever learns how to translate his silence. I mean, the boy never went missing, but he's always been lost. People love him like they love fireworks, which is to say everyone will cheer when they shine, but nobody will search for the rocket when the spectacle is over. People come to him expecting a poem, but often receive a mirror instead. He knows that the point of his gift is to give it away, but people take more than they stay, and he's an odd guy. He thinks everyone tells tall tales and good people are in short supply. He thinks a lot of human interaction is negative due to a lack of interaction. Being good is hard work, and people are addicted to relaxing. So his reaction to plastic humans who manufacture their laughter is to run like the whole room just took laxatives. He's had one too many confrontations about being a bad texter, so when the topic comes up, he just goes in his head and starts playing Tetris. Since they couldn't connect the dots, he just stacks the blocks until the conversation stops and somebody's probably blocked. It's not that he's too busy or bougie to answer their phone. He's just abnormally adapted to being alone due to an overexposure of Western political bullshit and American dating culture. He sort of looks at strangers like vultures. He's unsure of the brand of nonsense this person will come with in the context of his conscience, so he dodges it. But he could write a poem that would take the meanest of mugs and wipe it clean off a thug like Listerine's theme cleaning your gums. This man is tired, but he wants everyone to feel loved. But he is kind of an asshole sometimes. He's not a nice guy, but he is kind, and he implores you to explore the difference between the two. Being a nice guy had his self-image transitioned to a small fry. A nice guy can be transcripted to a man with doormat characteristics. Being nice will have your blood battling with physics because it boils, but ironically leaves you frigid. He's kind, but he's not nice. He's a cool guy, but the world is a cold place, so when ice immigrates in your veins, then like a cold case court case, something's bound to go missing. Be nice, and they'll deport your foreign heart to a land without description. Something's missing.